closer, my people. Draw near the fire and listen well, for this is the tale of love so deep that it opened the door to darkness. In the green village of Umuagu, where palm trees danced with the wind and the rivers sang to the stones, there lived a young woman named Nneka. Her beauty was not only in her face, but in her spirit. She was strong-willed, hard-working, and kind. Her laughter could wake joy in a sad heart. Nneka was married to Chinedu, a gentle farmer whose hands knew the language of the earth. Wherever he planted, life answered. Yams grew fat beneath the soil, cassava rose proudly, even dry land softened for him. But more than farming, Chinedu loved his wife. Every morning before sunrise, he would touch Nneka's forehead and whisper, "As long as I breathe, no sorrow will touch you." And Nneka would smile and reply, "Then you must live forever." Their hut stood at the edge of the village, painted with white clay and surrounded by flowers. At night, they sat outside together, sharing roasted corn, while stars filled the sky like scattered cowries. People envied them. Old women said, "This kind of love is rare." Young girls prayed, "May we find such husbands." Even jealous hearts could not deny that Nneka and Chinedu were one soul in two bodies. But listen carefully. When joy shines too brightly, shadows begin to gather. And beyond the hills, where the forest kept old secrets, something had already begun to watch them.
One market morning, the sun rose red like blood. The elders noticed it and spat to the ground. "A warning," they murmured. But Chinedu laughed gently and lifted his farming tools onto his shoulder. "Nneka, I will return before sunset," he said. She tied food in a cloth and handed it to him. "Do not stay too long in the fields." He kissed her hand and walked away. That day, the air felt strange. Birds did not sing. Even goats refused to wander far. Nneka felt fear moving inside her chest like a trapped insect. When evening came, the sky darkened, but Chinedu did not return. She waited by the path. Then came shouting. Men were carrying something on their shoulders. Nneka ran forward. It was Chinedu. His body lay stiff upon a raffia mat. His eyes were half open. His lips were dark. There was no wound on him, no blood, no mark of snakebite. Only death. Nneka screamed so loudly that children began to cry in nearby huts. "No, no, wake him!" She shook him, slapped his cheeks, called his name again and again. But Chinedu's body was cold as river stone. The village healer examined him and stepped back, trembling. "This is no ordinary death," he whispered. "What killed him?" the people asked. The old man only shook his head. That night, thunder rolled across a clear sky. And while the village mourned, hidden in the darkness near the forest, someone smiled. They buried Chinedu beneath the Nnuku tree at the edge of the farmland he loved. The women sang funeral songs, men lowered his body into the earth. Dust covered the face that once smiled like morning light. Nneka did not cry. She stood still like carved wood, her wrapper hanging loose, her eyes empty. When the last handful of soil fell, she whispered, "I am coming with you." The elders held her back. Days passed. Nneka stopped eating. She no longer swept the yard or fetched water. She sat beside the grave from sunrise till moonrise, speaking softly to the mound of earth. "Did they cover you well? Are you cold? Why did you leave me?" Children feared to pass her. Women brought food, but she pushed it away. At night, villagers heard her weeping through the wind. It was the kind of cry that made dogs howl and babies wake suddenly. One evening, her mother came and begged, "My daughter, the dead do not return. Come home." Nneka turned slowly. "You are wrong," she said. Her eyes had changed. There was fire inside them now. "If love is true, it must have power." The old women crossed themselves in fear. For some loves heal, but some loves, when wounded, become dangerous things.
That same night, as moonlight touched the grave, Nneka saw footprints around it. Old footprints. Bare feet. Someone had visited her husband's resting place before dawn. And near the grave lay a bundle of dried leaves tied with red thread. Nneka followed the path of the strange footprints into the forest. The trees there were tall and ancient, their roots twisting like sleeping snakes. Sunlight barely touched the ground. Even brave hunters avoided that place after midday. Deep inside, she found a crooked hut made of mud and bones. Smoke rose from it, though no fire could be seen. An old woman sat outside grinding herbs with a stone. Her back was bent, but her eyes were sharp as eagle claws. "I have been waiting," the woman said. Nneka froze. "Who are you?" "Some call me Mama Udala. Others call me what they fear." Nneka looked at the bundle of leaves in the old woman's hand. "You went to my husband's grave." Mama Udala smiled without warmth. "I went because grief calls loudly, louder than drums." Nneka knelt. "Bring him back." The old woman became silent. "Child, death is a river with no bridge." "Then I will swim." Mama Udala stared long at her, then leaned closer. "There is one path, forbidden, ancient, paid for with blood and sorrow." Nneka did not blink. "Tell me," the woman whispered. "You must dig up your husband before the 7th moon passes. Remove his heart, cook it in a clay pot with sacred herbs under naked moonlight. When the heart softens, call his name 7 times. If your love is stronger than death, he will return." Nneka trembled. "And if it fails?" Mama Udala's eyes darkened. "Then what rises will not be the man you knew." The forest wind suddenly roared, but Nneka had already chosen. The 7th night came with no clouds. Moonlight poured across the village like silver water. Everyone slept, unaware that something terrible was about to begin. Nneka wrapped black cloth around herself and carried a hoe, a calabash of herbs, and a small lantern with no flame. Her feet moved silently to Chinedu's grave. Crickets stopped singing when she arrived. She knelt and touched the soil. "My husband, forgive me." Then she began to dig. Each strike of the hoe sounded too loud in the night. Sweat rolled down her face, though the wind was cold. The smell of wet earth rose heavily around her. She dug deeper. Her hands shook. Then, thud. Wood. She dropped the hoe and clawed at the dirt until the coffin appeared. Tears blinded her. "Chinedu!" She opened it. The body lay wrapped in burial cloth, thinner now, touched by the silence of death. Nneka nearly fainted, but grief held her upright. With trembling hands, she used the knife Mama Udala had given her. The forest seemed to watch. Owls cried. Somewhere far away, a baby screamed in its sleep. When she finally lifted the heart into the moonlight, it looked dark and heavy, like a stone that remembered pain. Nneka placed it in the clay pot and covered the grave again. As she turned to leave, she heard footsteps behind her. Slow footsteps. But when she looked back, no one was there. Nneka built the fire behind her hut where no eyes could see. The moon stood high and pale, staring like a witness. She placed the clay pot upon 3 stones and dropped the sacred herbs inside. They hissed at once, releasing a smell both sweet and rotten. Smoke rose in twisting shapes that looked like hands. Then she placed Chinedu's heart inside. The fire crackled violently. Nneka began the chant Mama Udala taught her. "Come through earth, come through shadow, come through love." The wind answered. Leaves spun in circles. Dogs barked wildly across the village. Doors shook on their hinges. Inside the pot, something thumped. Nneka stepped back in terror. Again, thump. The lid rattled. She swallowed hard and called his name once. "Chinedu!" The pot jumped. Twice. "Chinedu!" The fire turned blue. 3 times. "Chinedu!" The ground beneath her feet trembled. She continued until the 7th call, her voice breaking with tears and hope. "Chinedu!" At once, the fire exploded upward, tall as a palm tree. The lid flew off. A scream burst from inside the pot. Not human, not animal. Nneka fell backward. Then, the smoke gathered into the shape of a man. Broad shoulders, strong arms. The face of Chinedu. He stepped out of the fire naked and dripping darkness. "Nneka," he said softly. She cried out with joy and ran into his arms. But when he embraced her, his body was ice cold.
At dawn, the village woke to shocking news. Chinedu was walking again. He followed Nneka through the market square, wearing fresh clothes, his face calm, his eyes lowered. Women dropped baskets. Men stumbled backward. Spirit! Ghost! Impossible! But Nneka held his hand proudly. My husband has returned. Love brought him back. Some rejoiced, some feared, some ran indoors and locked their doors. Chinedu spoke little. He only smiled faintly and nodded when spoken to. Yet something about him felt wrong. He did not blink often. He never ate food. When sunlight touched him too long, he winced as if burned. At night, villagers heard footsteps outside their huts. Slow, patient footsteps that circled like a hunter. Nneka ignored all warnings. She bathed him, dressed him, and sang to him as before. One evening, she placed hot yam before him. "Eat, my love." Chinedu stared at the bowl. Then he lifted his eyes to her throat. A strange hunger lived there. Nneka's smile faded. Later that night, she woke to find him gone from the bed. The door stood open. She followed tracks to the goat pen behind the huts. There she found 3 goats torn open, their hearts missing. Blood glistened on Chinedu's lips. He turned slowly toward her and whispered, "I am still hungry."